Favor in a small Sufuria? Don't mind, oh. When grace measures, not volume. Have you ever felt like you're the smallest pot in the kitchen, overlooked, underestimated, even left behind? What if I told you that God sometimes hides the greatest favor in the smallest Sufuria? This is a story not just about hunger, but about heavenly favor, about a boy who never fought for his share, but always ended up with more. Not because he had the biggest cup, but because God's grace is never measured by human volume. Let's dive in. Once upon a time, in a dusty little town, lived a poor widow with 5 children. Life had served her lemons, but lemonade was a luxury she couldn't afford. She had no job, no steady income, and barely any food to feed her hungry little ones. Not even matching plates or bowls. She'd go around the streets collecting thrown-away cups old, scratched, some cracked, each one a different size and shape. But they did the job, well, almost. The youngest child, the last born, had no cup at all. So the mother used a small aluminum Sufuria to measure his portion. Now, here's the twist. The mother was fair. Every day, she would measure the same amount of porridge or food using one specific cup, same volume for all. She'd pour the same quantity into each child's container. Some cups looked full, others halfway, some almost empty depending on their shape. The children, like many of us in life, judged by appearance. They would scramble for the cup that looked most full. "I want this one, it's bigger," they'd cry. But the truth? They all had the same, except for the last born. He never fought. He had no strength, no cup, and no voice in the chaos. But the mother had a rule. She'd whisper to the others, "Share a little with your brother, just a little." They'd pour from each of their cups into his tiny Sufuria, and little by little, it filled. Ironically, the one who didn't fight ended up with the most. The smallest Sufuria overflowed while the rest were half empty, bitter, or licking the bottom. Now, isn't that just like life? Sometimes we chase after what looks full: opportunities, popularity, success. We forget that God doesn't pour by volume, He pours by purpose. While the world fights for visibility, the heavens favor the humble. The Bible says in Psalm 75, 6-7, "Promotion comes neither from the east, nor from the west, nor from the south. But God is the judge. He puts down one and sets up another." The last born didn't strive. He didn't shout. But he had favor, and favor isn't fair by human logic. It's divine in nature. Sometimes God will use the smallest Sufuria to feed the biggest destiny. So, if you